What if the greatest enemy in your life is not outside you, but hidden deep within your own mind? What if your anger, fear, jealousy, anxiety, self-sabotage, and destructive habits are all being driven by forces you cannot consciously see? Most people spend their entire lives believing they know themselves. But according to Swiss psychologist Carl Jung, much of human behavior is controlled by an invisible psychological realm known as the shadow. And until you confront it, it controls you. Today, we are going to explore the hidden architecture of the human psyche, uncover how the shadow secretly shapes your decisions, and learn how integrating it can transform weakness into power. Because the truth is this: the parts of yourself you reject do not disappear. They wait in darkness. The shadow is the unconscious part of the personality. It contains everything you deny, suppress, hide, or reject about yourself. Your rage, your insecurity, your selfishness, your envy, your forbidden desires, your fear. But the shadow also contains hidden strengths: confidence, creativity, leadership, ambition, authenticity. Many people assume the shadow is purely evil, but Jung believed the shadow simply contains everything excluded from conscious identity. As children, we quickly learn which behaviors gain approval and which behaviors bring punishment or rejection. So we begin constructing a social mask. We hide parts of ourselves to fit into family, religion, school, or society. Eventually, the mask becomes our identity, and the rejected parts sink into the unconscious. But suppression never destroys psychological energy, it only buries it. And what is buried eventually seeks expression. That is why people explode in anger after years of repression, why addictions emerge, why self-sabotage repeats, why hidden resentment poisons relationships. The shadow speaks through unconscious behavior. The most dangerous person is not the one who has darkness. It is the one who believes they have none. People who refuse to confront their shadow often become controlled by it. A person who suppresses anger may appear calm on the surface, while secretly becoming passive-aggressive, manipulative, or emotionally cold. A person who denies ambition may criticize successful people while secretly craving power. Someone who refuses to acknowledge insecurity may overcompensate through arrogance and domination. The unconscious always leaks out. This is why Jung famously said, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate." Many people think they are making free choices, but in reality, they are reacting from unresolved wounds and hidden fears. The shadow influences romantic relationships, friendships, leadership, confidence, creativity, career decisions, emotional reactions, habits, and addictions. And perhaps most importantly, it shapes how you see other people. One of the clearest signs of the shadow is projection. Projection happens when we unconsciously assign our rejected traits to other people. What we deny within ourselves, we attack outside ourselves. Think about the people who trigger intense emotional reactions in you. The arrogant person, the weak person, the selfish person, the confident person, the emotional person. Sometimes these reactions reveal hidden aspects of ourselves we refuse to acknowledge. For example, someone who constantly condemns confidence in others may secretly fear expressing their own power. Someone obsessed with controlling others may secretly fear losing control internally. Projection is psychologically dangerous because it blinds us. Instead of confronting our inner conflict, we externalize it. We blame, judge, attack, condemn. Meanwhile, the real source remains unconscious. But projection can also become a doorway to self-awareness. The next time someone deeply triggers you emotionally, pause and ask, what does this reaction reveal about me? That question alone can expose years of unconscious conditioning. Shadow work is not about becoming darker, it is about becoming whole. Integration means bringing unconscious material into awareness instead of repressing it. This requires brutal honesty. It means admitting, yes, I can be selfish. Yes, I can be manipulative. Yes, I feel envy. Yes, I want validation. Yes, I have anger. Most people avoid this because the ego wants to believe it is purely good. But maturity begins when we stop dividing ourselves into good and evil. Every human being contains both. The goal is not perfection. The goal is conscious responsibility. When you become aware of your darkness, you gain the ability to direct it rather than be controlled by it. Anger becomes assertiveness. Aggression becomes discipline. Pain becomes wisdom. Fear becomes awareness. The energy trapped in repression becomes available for transformation. This is why people who integrate their shadow often become more grounded, calm, confident, creative, and authentic. They stop pretending, they stop performing, they stop hiding. And paradoxically, they become less dangerous because they are conscious of their darkness. True self-mastery is not achieved by eliminating darkness. It is achieved by understanding it. The shadow will always exist, but when ignored, it controls your life from beneath. Awareness. When confronted consciously, it becomes a source of strength. The people who know themselves deeply are not those who only see light within. They are those courageous enough to face both light and darkness without illusion. Because the strongest people are not the ones without inner conflict. They are the ones willing to confront it, honestly. Inside every human being exists an unseen world. A hidden force shaping thoughts, emotions, fears, and desires. Most people spend their lives running from it. But the moment you turn and face your shadow, you begin reclaiming the parts of yourself buried by fear, shame, and conditioning. And in that moment, you stop being controlled by the unconscious. You begin becoming whole. If you enjoyed this video, subscribe for more deep psychology, philosophy, and self-mastery content. And remember, what you refuse to confront within yourself will eventually control you from the dark.